Hey everyone, What If Fan here, bringing you another exciting part of What If becoming a mangaka in One Piece world. You can find the fanfic title and the original author's name on my Patreon page. Make sure to check it out and show them some love. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Also check out my Patreon channel for early releases of all the series, where you can find all the series released one day ahead of YouTube. Alright, let's jump into it. Chapter 371, The Reactions Through the World. A week after the legendary battle. News of the devastating battle between the two world-dominant leaders has spread to every corner of the world, bringing with it global tension and epic stories that will be passed down through generations to come. Fishman Island, Mermaid's Bay, near the art store. Did you hear the latest news? You mean what happened last week? The forum is full of all kinds of stories and news about that. That was so shocking. Yes, a lot has happened. Oh my goodness, we were so lucky we were far enough away not to be affected by that battle. I heard that the main island of the Golden Lion Shiki was almost destroyed in the big explosion. Hunter's Island would have been blown up had it not been for the art store's barrier. Shiki is an idiot, he's the one who decided to go there to watch the battle. Most dreadful is the inhabitants of Wano. It's said that Wano has become an island without sea. Idiot, only hundreds of kilometers of the sea around the island were blown away, the area of the country was greatly increased and the island was divided into two halves. Did you also hear about the remains of their ancient kingdom that was also exposed because of the battle? I heard that. But I don't know what caused the battle in the first place. You two are idiots. At this moment, a fishman with a fierce expression intervened in the conversation, terrifying the two young men who were chatting about the latest horrific events in the world. One of the Gorosei attacked Wano country to kill the shogun, but the legendary hunters number 10 Mihawk and number 5 Isho repelled the Gorosei's attack and fought with him in an intense battle witnessed by all the residents of Wano. Then they lost, but the Hunters Guild's boss Sky Sword appeared personally and almost killed the Gorosei. Then what happened after that? Tell us, big brother. Here, see for yourself. The fishman with a fierce expression handed them a newspaper with a large headline. The battle that almost destroyed the world. Event: a devastating battle occurred over the sky of the closed country of Wano between Sky Sword Rob, the highest wanted person in the history of the world government, and a mysterious person said to be the person behind the current world government. Anyway, he is not a mysterious person anymore, etc. The article's writer, Morgans. The two young men's eyes sparkled as they saw Rob's picture in the form of Segunda Etapa, Alquior's template, looking towards what vaguely appeared to be a woman. She was hand-drawn but had huge red wings and long red hair, but her facial features were blurred. So this is the person who fought Rob-sama equally? Is it a woman? So scary. Their battle caused an eclipse of the sun. Those colors that covered the sky of our Fishman Island were because of them then. Phew. In the industry bay, Tom and his students read the newspaper with different expressions. Rob and Imu's fight caused a strange astronomical phenomenon. In broad daylight the planet was covered with their aura and everyone could sense something was wrong because such a phenomenon had never happened before. The war between the government and the hunters are getting more serious. Is this bad, teacher? Sigh. I don't know. Did they tied in this battle? Looks like no one won. Inside the art store, while smoking a cigarette, Susan glanced at the newspaper with an interesting expression. Inside the art store, she usually readjusts her body to normal human size instead of her large size. After all, she was 5 meters tall. That's why she was able to hold the newspaper comfortably and smoke small cigarettes comfortably as well. You kid. Your first vision has come true. Susan looked at her young daughter, Shirley, intently. Shirley didn't care because she was more interested in the One Piece Pirate Warrior game she was now playing online with Robin, Hancock, Marigold, Makino, Scarlet, and Sonia in one-on-one combos. So Susan didn't bother her again. It was much better to see her daughter having fun than to bother her about these visions even if they were real. Sigh. Susan sighed after Rob passing this incident with minimal damage. She really wanted to see Rob again and have a warm time with him, Seeing him in the newspaper with such majesty and power made her feel excited. New World, Aurora Island. Aurora Island is the new Onigashima. A week after that horrific day, the island is still being repaired. Despite being at least 3 days away from Ueno by ship, they did not survive that day's disaster. There were earthquakes and volcanoes, and the island was almost destroyed by the shock waves from the battle. The last explosion blew up the sea near Ueno, and it would have blown up Ueno too had it not been for the art store. And that was seen very clearly from this island in the shock waves and tsunami waves that came after that explosion. Kaido was forced to use his conqueror's haki with all his might to defend it so that the whole island would not be swept away and destroyed it. After all, many of the near islands were destroyed in this way. No one knows how many died. Should we move the island to another place? This is annoying. Hiccup. While drinking the sake, Kaido sighed again and again. What the heck? Did the world government have such a terrifying boss? Then is me just a fart in this world? My strength and tough body that I have been proud of for years. What does it mean in front of these monsters? Kaido was crying while expressing his frustrations while both king and queen sighed. They also wanted to cry. If we leave this place we won't find any art store nearby, Kaido-sama. How about re-looking at the Golden Lion's offer? Queen was deeply interested in the Golden Lion's offer. That old bastard thinks he can revive the Rock's pirates and rule over them. Hiccup. He's just a dreamy bastard. Even Rocks himself, if he could somehow leave his grave, wouldn't be able to do anything in front of these two demons who are now ruling the world. But I'll see about his offer. He has an art store after all, maybe allying with him in this world that is on the path of the hegemony of two world powers wouldn't be such a bad choice. Hiccup. Even the distant Zou Island on Zunesha's back was not spared from the consequences of the battle and would have been destroyed had it not been for Zunesha's protection. On that day, Zunesha turned around for the first time in 1,000 years and started running in the opposite direction. If Roger had been nearby, he would have heard a lot of interesting things from a terrified Zunesha at that moment. Who he is. Who can fight the goddess of death equally, other than Nika? Chapter 372, a new anime trailer. Inside O'Hara's art store, in his private section, Rob was thinking. What should I choose this time? Should I go with a new anime or a new manga? Even though he was in a state of deep thought, his hands didn't stop drawing on his laptop. He was checking the finishing touches on the new volume of the manhwa Solo Leveling after he had already finished drawing half of the chapters of the new One Piece volume that will enter a new saga. I promised them I will find a suitable world to meddle in its plot. Which one is good enough? At this point, Rob was searching his huge mental library for a suitable story as a new anime or manga. That wouldn't just be fun. A story as terrible as Attack on Titan deserves to be a game world cool enough to allow that to happen. I'm not going to reveal much about that right now, I'm sorry. A big world, it has its fair share of the superpowers, inferior to the pirate world, a dictatorial empire, revolutionaries, heroes of justice, insane villains. And most importantly, a world as corrupt as the pirate world. Well, isn't this world the best one among them? Oh, yeah, it's the perfect candidate. Rob was delighted when he remembered a certain show that had put him into a week of frustration. Okay, we're done with this. After he finished drawing the new volume of Solo Leveling, he started copying a huge number of copies in order to prepare them for updating at the specified time later, and he went on to prepare a new trailer that will be broadcast in all art stores tomorrow. Being the Minister of Happiness in this bleak world, he must continue his hard work and let the people of this world know that they are not the only ones suffering. There are other worlds whose authors enjoy torturing ordinary people within them, in order to make a worthy plot. But this anime will be very interesting as the protagonists will also suffer greatly. Here the plot armor is completely disabled, no one can anticipate the events. Rob smiled as he entered the production room as if he hadn't emerged victorious from a battle against the strongest in this world just a few days ago. If Imo had not escaped at that moment, she would have lost several limbs if she had not died. This was his revenge for her last attempt to kill him in the Eni's lobby. Little did he know that what he did was a huge mistake because he made the craziest woman in this world become totally obsessed with him. The next day, O'Hara's residents are surprised by the art store's gigantic display screen. What's up? Today is Tuesday, there are no anime shows on this day? I'm surprised, too. What's going on? Not only us, but all over the islands that have an art store, everyone is wondering why the white screen appears on the forum. Maybe it's a trailer for a new show? Is it Naruto Season 2? Damn it! Where is my Naruto Shippuden? Please tell me it's a Solo Leveling or Bleach anime. It's just a torment for us anime fans not to see these masterpieces on the screen. I think it's a new anime. Will it be as good as Hunter x Hunter? I don't think any new anime can compete with it. I don't think it's going to be as great as Attack on Titan. I'm not interested. Look, it's the countdown. Everyone stopped chattering at this moment and let go of what was in their hands, unconsciously focusing on the art store screen in intense concentration. On the store screen, the countdown started from 3 to 1 and soon a large title appeared. New trailer. Followed by a noisy oast. A blood-red moon appeared in the background, and a beautiful woman with black hair and crimson eyes similar to the blood moon in the background held a sword and pointed it at someone who did not appear. Her mere appearance made the crowd involuntarily salivate. Was this swordswoman a woman? Even so, I can't defeat her in my current state. Soon, the person who had been threatened by the sword of the former sword beauty was identified as a young man with short brown hair, green eyes, and an emaciated build. He looked like a typical anime protagonist. But I can't worry about that right now. If I can't save even one girl, how will I save my village? After the boy finished speaking, it was Sword Beauty's turn to say her words, but the moment the focus was on her charming facial features, it was confirmed that a new lover girl would appear to the masses. Everyone wanted to know her name. I Shall Annihilate You. Created by Rudius D. Arab. Akane Ga Kill. At this point, the name of the new anime appeared in bold. In Japanese, with a long red sword in the middle. The trailer continued to show interesting scenes, as the imperial capital appeared, and the boy eager to join the imperial army, Tatsumi, collides at some stage with a squad called Night Raid whose target is to overthrow the empire. The story and the plot seemed understandable from the trailer, and everyone was excited to follow the events of this story. Including the world government and the revolutionary army who smelled a foul odor from the empire in this anime reminded them of the world government in their world. There is an emperor, but he's only a child. The minister controls the emperor from the shadows. He's the reason why this country is rotting. At this moment, violent scenes began to appear, as the bodies of women and men who had been flogged to death were suspended, causing goosebumps in the viewers. TSK. Another world is corrupt to the core. Dragon's expression twitched after seeing these scenes. As a smart person, he fully understood the purpose of this anime. This was exactly what Rob had promised him. Dragon covered his face with his green mantle and turned back to the Tree of Omniscience. Everyone who passed him gave him the way in fear. Dragon, who was supposed to be a mysterious person, has become a popular character in Ohara. A Wayne Wano whose shape has completely changed due to the last battle. Mihawk stared intently at the sword in Akame's hand. His sharp eyes noticed Akame's fighting style only from the trailer and detected her sword's weird feature in one scene. Interesting. He didn't expect that he would be eagerly awaiting another show after Demon Slayer. Chapter 373, Next Saga, Thriller Bark. On her throne, Emo sat with a blank expression on her face while she looked at the wanted poster in her hand. The eyes of the person in the poster seemed to be looking down on her, but in fact, he was looking down on the photographer who was trying to hide from his senses. Down the stairs leading to the throne, the 5 elders knelt with fanatical expressions on their faces. We can muster all our military forces and attack O'Hara now, Lord. Just give us your order, and we will take revenge. We shall flog him alive. There is no point in hiding from the eyes of the world now. This magical world is also terrified of this person named Rob. No doubt it will support us to exterminate him. We're getting ready to fully reveal your existence in the manga. Heir of the world, so it's okay for you to return to the world as a well-deserved queen, Lord. That bastard Sky Sword has created a new anime targeting our bad reputation. We have to respond this time. On the throne, the words of the clique below seemed insignificant to Emu, who was still looking with her three eyes at Rob's yellow eyes in the poster. The more she looks, the more secrets she discovers about this mysterious guy. You are not just a descendant of the Light of Knowledge clan. You are much more than that. I will reveal it myself. But for now, I am going to enjoy a few of your interesting shows fufufu. After that, she folded and shrunk the poster to a suitable size and hid it in the river between her beautiful breasts. Her eye fell on the bald Gorosei, who was seemingly in a pitiful state, still suffering from severe injuries. It wasn't only because of his battle with Rob, but mostly because of that intense blast. After all, that massive explosion killed everyone aboard the government ship. He's the only survived due to his devil fruit ability. So what were you saying again? Emo asked nonchalantly. It's like this. The bald Gorosei retold everything they had said before. There is no problem announcing my existence to the world. After all, the world has already witnessed my appearance in the last battle. After a few generations, the world will forget about my existence anyway. But don't even think about bothering Rob, he's a lot stronger than you think, just leave it as it is. We don't need Pluton for now, and I'll see about it when the next Joy Boy wakes up. Hear and obey, Lord. Whole Cake Island. Mama. So that means we successfully hit the first target of the plan. Yes, Mama. The giants were so happy when they got the huge manga volumes from us that they were willing to trade the Wood of Adam's treasure tree for more huge manga Peroran Kukukuku. The smile on Charlotte Lean's pretty face widened after hearing that. She felt indescribably happy because of this good news. Were you careful to avoid the Hunters Guild's eyes? Lin was worried about finding out about her little trick from her beloved ally. Don't worry, Mama, we've asked Dufel for help with this. You know his way of doing things. Who gives a lot of money gets his wish. That goddamn loan shark. Well, he better does a good job or I'll kill him. Lin was disturbed after hearing that pigface name. What about Dash? When Lin was about to ask something, the art store's posters started to change on their own. This announcement of a new coming saga. Lin and her son's eyes brightened upon seeing this sight that was now happening in every art store in the world, causing quite a commotion. After all, every time this happens comes a new saga full of many fun arcs. On the art store's largest advertising mural, the formerly words have been replaced with new ones. One Piece/Vol.20. New Saga, Thriller Bark Saga. A picture of smiling Luffy wearing Roger's famous hat and holding his sword ace appeared. Below this picture appeared a large poster showing Nami, Usopp, and Chopper escaping from a crowd of zombies who are relentlessly chasing them with fear on their faces, while despite his escape, Luffy seems to be enjoying himself. The interesting thing is the appearance of a tall skeleton in a tattered suit and a black hat over his afro hair, holding a small crutch in his left hand. Today was the day the new volume of Solo Leveling was going to be published, but no one expected an announcement of the new saga today, so most of the readers were surprised and very happy. West Blue. On a small, desolate island containing a cemetery and a large castle in the middle, only a person riding a giant bat appeared. I've decided. This island will be my thriller bark from now on. Kiyoshishi. Just wait for me, Rob and Kaido. I will create an army of undead and take revenge on you. Apparently, Moria didn't learn anything from the last lesson. What is this building? While wandering around the island's cemetery, he stumbled upon a weird building. Isn't this an art store? Moria walked inside and was shocked by what he saw. He just thought of creating the thriller bark after losing his former crew at the hands of Kaido, but what is he seeing now? New Saga, Thriller Bark Saga. Chapter 374, New Volume of Solo Leveling. West Blue, O'Hara. Brooksan, you have to see this. Yahohoho. You look excited, Kuma-san. What do I have to see? Is the Solo Leveling volume already updated? Brook walked out of his house in a black suit and a guitar on his back, ready to create another party atmosphere tonight in the town square just like he did yesterday. Brooke's house was far from the urban domain. He asked Rob to build him a house near the sea where Laboon lives. This was very easy for Rob, who spent a few art points and bought a whole house for this pathetic fellow. Yes, the solo leveling volume has already been updated, but there is something more important. Everyone is talking about you. Me. Was the rock song I sang yesterday so cool it became popular? Not that either. Come with me to the art store. You'll see for yourself. Brooke locked his house's door, said goodbye to Laboon, and left with Kuma, who came over to Ohara from his kingdom after Rob permitted him to use the teleportation feature. Well, I was going there anyway, yahoho. When Brooke passed a crowd of people, they excitedly gestured at him as if he were an alien. Brooke has been a celebrity in Ohara since he first came here and played the hit song Binks no Sake in public. But now, for some reason, Brooke felt like this was his first appearance in Ohara. The moment Brooke entered the art store, he was completely shocked by what he saw. Looks like you're going to become the protagonist of the next saga. Inside the art store, Brooke recovered his human body, which started to shiver in response to his turbulent emotions at this moment. Is that skeleton on the poster me? Yes, it's you, Brooke-san. Enel, Doflamingo, and Rosinante stood up, carrying volumes of the famous manhwa solo leveling, and headed for Brooke and Kuma, who had just entered. As expected, this arc is going to be your arc, Brooke. That's why the teacher included you and reunited you with Laboon. Rosinante spoke excitedly. Since Laboon's story was mentioned in the manga, you should have known that you would be appearing in the manga too, right? Then the time has come. That poster over there, it says very clearly that you're going to be the star of this arc. Maybe like Frankie, you'll end up as a member of the Straw Hat Pirates. After all, since the first chapter, Luffy has always wanted a musician in his crew, and you are the best candidate. After hearing all this from these three kids, Brooke was completely shocked. Does this mean I'll be able to see Nami's underwear in the manga? Doflamingo. Rosinante. Enel. Kuma. Luckily he didn't mention Robin. But? What did you just say? The temperature seemed to rise suddenly when Belmir arrived. Ah, please. Don't break my bones, Arg. She took him out of the art store first before crushing him easily. Equals 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 equals. Manhwa events. Well, let's begin. Jinwoo smiled before opening the job change space gate. This time he was fully prepared. Job change seems interesting. I wonder what kind of monsters will be in there. At last this game seemed to start for real. Equals 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 equals. At the end of the chapter, a knight in red armor appeared. Just looking at him gave the readers an amazing feeling. This red knight is strong. These were the thoughts of everyone who was reading this chapter at the moment. On Hunter's Island, forces were actively mobilizing towards Wano country, which was currently under repair. The target, to return the sea to Wano. Of course, this was a long-term project, but with the power of the Hunters Guild it wouldn't be impossible. The Wano country would be reformed back to what it was before that devastating battle. On the main island, Yasopp and Ben Beckman were reading the new volume with looks of awe on their faces. Of course, not because they admired Jinwoo's strength, but rather because they admired the wonderful drawing of the manhwa, which is fundamentally different from the manga. He's only fighting a set of shields. I think they're empty inside. Don't be a fool, Yasopp. They are spirits of former soldiers. Ah. If I had this system, I would also be invincible. You're daydreaming, Yasopp. I've been thinking lately, since the boss can use Ulquiorra's power, doesn't that mean that he can use Jinwoo's power as well, including the system? Isn't that what you intended to say? Yasopp looked at Ben Beckman, who stole his line with hatred. Well, we know you're smart here, but stop interrupting me, you motherfucker. Well, it's possible. After all, the boss can truly use the power of his creations. That's very interesting, and that is precisely why I joined his guild. Chapter 375, Solo Leveling, Job Change Quest. Manhwa Events. Alarm! You cannot leave this dungeon until you have cleared it. Alarm! In this area, your portion and shop ability are restricted. On level up, you do not receive healing status. Seeing this, Jinwoo admitted the difficulty of his current situation. He knew that he would have no other choice but to completely clean this dungeon. This job change quest. I can't underestimate it. I don't know how many hours. No, how many weeks it will take me to clear the quest. So it's bad that I can't heal. At this moment, it got worse when he remembered that he hadn't done the daily quest yet. Wait, did I do my daily quest today? I thought this would be over quickly and I could finish it in one night. If I take longer than 12 hours, I might become the centipede's prey like last time. This isn't good. I better get a job quickly and finish my daily quest. Jinwoo remembered the punishment ground in that harsh desert and the huge amount of huge sand centipedes and felt frustrated. He didn't know that the reason he was able to get out of this place alive was that he hadn't done his daily quest. Wait, I ran away like hell last time, but if I face it right now, could I beat the centipede? Before that, I'll have to take care of these muscleheads who only trust their defense. Jinwoo left his torch aside and pounced on one of the knights with a crushing fist, sending two of them flying. Alarm! You have slain a knight. You have slain a knight. You have slain a knight. Item, leather pouch. Type, container. A pouch made to carry money. Item, high knight's chestplate. Item class, B. Type, armor. +7 physical damage reduction, slows movement speed if your strength is below 80. Equals 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 equals. Grand Line, Baltigo Island. This is just a cheat. But even so, his cheat abilities have been restricted at this dungeon. It's satisfying. TSK. Don't you think that devil fruits are cheats too? Ha ha ha. You said something that made sense, Croco Boy. It's not good to read this fun manhwa in such a gloomy place. How about going back to Jaya, Captain? Dragon raised his head from the manga volume but saw not the famous white soil of Baltigo Island which was featured in the manga, but rather the black soil that had been subjected to massive artillery bombardment. He also saw many habitable mountains and rocks that had been destroyed and flattened with the ground. This was Baltigo Island, the headquarters of the future Revolutionary Army. It was only demolished because it was featured in the manga. Dragon and his comrades didn't feel angry. Not that they were expecting it. But BFT. Ha 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 ha. They wasted their cannons on an empty island. Did the successive losses in the war affect them to the point of losing their minds? Ivankov wondered if the 5 elders had gone crazy. What is the point of destroying an empty island? Fool. Of course, by fool, Dragon was meant Ivankov. Ha! Is there a valid reason then? Even Crocodile looked intently at Dragon, waiting for what he would say. He, too, believed that the Gorosei had gone crazy after all. Well, the world government that is tired of looking for us in vain has finally found an opportunity to give us a message and a warning. Why would they let such an opportunity slip away from their hands? The destruction of Baltigo is a clear message, says, Dragon, give up. Or the fate of this island will be yours. Do you now realize why the world government destroyed this empty island? Crocodile and Ivankov were shocked after hearing the rationale. Just how did he deduce all this from mere wreckage? Now, let's go back to Jaya. I want to relax a bit and enjoy this good manhwa, waiting for the day when we leave this illusory world. Okay, let's go. On their way toward the ship, the three discuss the events they read earlier. Devil fruits is not cheat but desires laden with restrictions. The real cheat is the desires without restrictions. What do you mean? Wasn't Jinwoo temporarily restricted in this dungeon as well? Crocodile asked. You said it yourself. It's only a temporary restriction. Dragon smiled. Marine Ford. Why Kuzan didn't go back too? What do you mean, Zephyr? Inside the Fleet Admiral's office, the mood was calm after the recent storm had passed and the intensity of the war had calmed down a bit, so those high cadres in the Navy found a chance to breathe a bit. Kuzan says he won't give up until he has Water 7 back on our side. Sigh the hasty youth. Never mind. You can sit. Here, have some crackers. You can take that volume of manhwa too. I know how daunting that impossible task was. Zephyr did exactly what Sengoku said. He opened the new solo leveling volume and calmly started reading it. What do you think, Sengoku? What is Jinwoo's current strength level? About 7,000 Dariki. Like a powerful rear admiral. Sengoku replied with confidence. You have a really sharp eye. I still don't understand what this job change means. What do you think? I suppose he will obtain magical powers after completing this quest. At this moment, Tsuru spoke, which attracted the attention of the two people. Although he has some magical powers such as the stealth that he obtained from others hunters and monsters, he didn't obtain powers of his own. So I presume that this quest will cause him to obtain an extremely powerful one. As expected of our Tsuru. Sengoku and Zephyr both smiled. Chapter 376, The Birth of the Lord of Shadows. Moria's Astonishment. Part 1. Manhwa Events. After overcoming various types of knights on the way, Jinwoo finally reached the boss room. But the moment he pushed the door to enter, he felt a shiver that made his body cold. A chilliness that makes your spirit shiver. The boss room's interior seemed unusually vast, but the throne at the end of the room was particularly notable. A king's throne room? Beside the throne appeared a tall and heroic red knight. The aura he was giving off brought back bad memories for Jinwoo. I remember this sensation. It's the same as in the double layer. This chilly feeling. It looks like the strong energy comes from this guy. The Red Knight was the final boss in this dungeon, and this was confirmed after a fierce battle began between Jinwoo and Blood Red Commander Igris, which Jinwoo almost lost without his thick plot armor. Equals 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 equals. Marigoa, Pangea Castle. A knight that protects the empty throne? Fufu, I like it. While watching the amazing fight between Igris and Jinwoo on the pages, Emo reacted with a chuckle. Lately, she hasn't been feeling the boredom she used to for so many years. As if it had completely disappeared. And the reason is this man who almost defeated her in the last fight. From that day on, a certain instinct began to awaken in her heart. An instinct that almost forgot its existence because of the long years that she lived in a world where she had to live like the strongest. The instinct that she's a woman. How about making you my knight, Robchan? You need to protect my empty throne, just like Igris do. But you must not lose a battle as Igris did. Emu continued reading the volume from chapter to chapter and saw how Jinwoo was nearly drowned in the endless waves of dull nights after he succeeded in killing Igris and the real job change quest began. That's cool. Seeing the weaker version of Jinwoo mocking Jinwoo who had grown so much since that day made Emo feel weird. Rank Hunter Son Jinwoo. In the end, that's all you are. If you don't know how to control yourself, your courage becomes recklessness. This is true. This is fun. I think this week Jinwoo is not just his hallucination. TSK. He escaped certain death. As expected of a protagonist's luck, hee. If the pain doesn't kill him, it will make him stronger. That's a good line. For some reason, Imo was frustrated seeing Jinwoo being pulled into the penalty zone the moment he almost died. Inside the government hall. Bad. 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 Our situation is as bad as Jinwoo's current situation. The bald Gorosei slammed the manhwa book to the ground, causing the floor to crack, but the manhwa book was still intact. No matter how many allies he has around him, that doesn't matter. He's the only threat since he has strength that rivals that of the Lord, the mustachioed Gorosei said. I can't believe even Vegapunk left our side. That bastard. The 5 elders were very angry after knowing the truth about Vegapunk betraying them and moving to Ohara. Overnight, Egghead Island disappeared from the New World and appeared near Ohara in West Blue. This power. It's like the power of gods. How did he do that? So the information about Alabasta Island being teleported to the Sky Island by the Sky Sword is true then? Unbelievable. Despicable. Let's get out of this for now. Jinwoo has escaped this life and death situation due to his luck again. Damn the author. How did he get such ideas? Why do I feel like our manga painters are so primitive compared to this? That's why our sales are so low compared to the art store. Damn it. But this is really cool. The feelings of the 5 elders were very complicated at this moment cause of solo leveling enthusiastic events. West Blue, Thriller Bark Island. After Rob knew that this island was obtained by Moria, he allowed him to obtain it, but he closed most of the features of the art store and treated it like the art store on the island of the Golden Lion. At this moment, only Moria's laughters could be heard inside the empty art store. Because he enjoyed reading manhwa of solo leveling. Who would have expected that I would find an art store on this desolate island? I'm so lucky. Kiashishishishi. This. Is this my ability? Unbelievable. Am I dreaming? This power. Is that even possible? Moria's eyes almost fell out of their sockets after seeing the strength Jinwoo had obtained after he successfully cleaned the job change quest. What he saw now made him re-evaluate his situation. What he saw now made him change his view of the world and everything else. Everything he's been doing so far is completely wrong. Or rather, he was very stupid. This manhwa is my treasure from now on. As if he had discovered the treasure of One Piece, Moria began to literally kiss the manhwa's book. He finished reading all the available chapters in less than an hour even though he had never read this manhwa before. He lost all his money to be able to buy all the volumes, but he did not regret it, and he never regretted it. Because he finally found a great way to evolve his devil fruit. Chapter 377, The Birth of the Lord of Shadows. Moria's Astonishment. Part 2. Manhwa Events. 4 hours 29 minutes and 16 seconds. All the monsters in the room have been slain. The quest will end now. You will be able to choose a class on the amount of points you have collected. Jinwoo felt relieved after seeing these notices, that this quest he had almost paid for with his life was finally over. It's over. I'll get a job now. Since I use a dagger, it's obvious that I should choose an assassin. Jinwoo thought the system would give him the right to choose his job, but to his surprise, it didn't. A job will be granted after the player's actions have been analyzed. Granted? I am not allowed to choose? Jinwoo started to seriously think about what kind of class he would get based on his actions. I put all my stats in strength and agility. I'll probably get either warrior due to my high strength or assassin because of my agility, or perhaps a tank is possible as well with my high vitality stat. It'll be one of those 3. Either way, I'll become stronger. Wherever the player goes, the Reaper follows. The player's path is littered with corpses and the smell of blood. What is it saying? Jinwoo was shocked by what he saw. As the player possesses strength, he does not leave anything to his teammates, and overcomes everything with his own strength. From the text, it seems like a warrior. Your desire for strength burns strong enough to call those who wandered the valley of death, and the army of the dead who follows your commands shall create a path where your thread will be the law and you would never need another's help again. Army of the dead? Wait. What's this? This is? My job? Your job is necromancer. You will be promoted from necromancer to shadow lord. Equals 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 equals. Seeing how Jinwoo would summon the shadows of the beings he had killed to fight for him, his body was trembling and he couldn't control his racing breaths. This. Unbelievable. His heart raced wildly after seeing Jinwoo fail twice to summon Igris's shadow but succeed the third time. This power is perfect. Shadow Lord. Powerful army. Perfect army. Kishi shishi. I also can control shadows. Kishi shishi shi. After seeing how Jinwoo controlled his ability, a new door opened for Moria, a completely new way to develop his fruit. All the devil fruit depends on is the user's imagination and desire. As long as the user's imagination is rich enough, the devil fruit can comply with his desires and achieve the impossible. Moria really did have the shadow's fruit. If he could communicate with the realm of the dead using Shadow Link, then he could truly imitate the power of the Shadow Lord completely flawlessly. This is the cause of Moria's excitement at this moment, which will develop into an obsession in the future. Ohara. A power to revive the dead. No, it is a power to enslave the shadows of the dead. As a giant with the mentality of the peaceful giant's tribe branch, Sol was raised to respect the dead and not to desecrate their remembrance, so seeing such a power as Jinwoo had made him feel very complicated. He loved Jinwoo but hated his power. It would have been better if he had a warrior job. Why, Uncle Sol? Isn't the Shadow Lord power is great? It's an evil power, Robin-chan, but if it's used to protect loved ones and fight for justice, it will be good power. Ha? Isn't my dad's power evil, too? Darashishishi. He looks like a devil. But my dad told me he's fine with becoming a devil to protect me and everything he owns. Sol smiled sweetly after hearing little Robin say that in her childish voice. Your dad is absolutely right. Oh, welcome back, Alvia-san. Sol. Alvia nodded to greet Sol before taking Robin into her arms. Did that naughty child bother you? I'll take her. Not at all, I enjoy my time with Robin-chan's company. On the other hand, Brook was silently reading these scenes in his manhwa. Inside his mind, the scene was repeated in which he and his crew sang their last group song and their crew's last performance. That scene in which his comrades died one by one, smiling and enjoying the song. His eyes teared up without realizing it. If I had this power, I would revive the shadows of my comrades. I wouldn't have been alone for so long. Which comrades are you talking about? And why are you crying so hard, Brook-san? Rosinante wondered why Brook was crying. You will know that in the next volume of One Piece. Rob's voice came from behind the group, surprising them. You have the revive fruit, Brook. That power you have is the real power to revive the dead, not the power of a Shadow Lord. If you had a strong desire to revive your friends back then, maybe you could really revive them too after reviving yourself. Desire. Yes, you had such a blind belief that the only person who could come back from the dead was you only and no one else. That is why you limited your fruit development. Brook stared at Rob with utter shock on his face. Chapter 378, Episode 1 of Akane Ga Kill. The sun has risen on a beautiful morning in the pirate world, heralding the start of a new fun day. Today was considered an expected day because it was Thursday. The day that appeared in the new anime's trailer was the broadcast day. Yes, today was the day when the first episode of the awaited anime, Akane Ga Kill, will be aired. Everyone was eagerly waiting for this anime. After all, its story was very interesting. Tatsumi is cast as the protagonist who sets off to the imperial capital with his two friends to earn money for their poor village, only to be struck by a world of unimaginable corruption caused by a corrupt prime minister who controls the Kid Emperor. From the trailer I understand that the protagonist almost joined the imperial army and became a victim of this corruption himself. Yes, it's fortunate for him that he was recruited by the night raid, a group of assassins dedicated to eradicating the rampant corruption in the imperial capital by killing those responsible for it without any mercy. This story looks exciting and so cool to watch on the big screen. I am so excited about this anime. I expect a lot from it, too. In the public squares, in the markets, in the crowded streets, even in the agricultural fields. On all the islands that have an art store, everyone was discussing the story of the new anime. And they were so excited about it, just like they were excited about HXH, Aoi, One Piece, Naruto, and more with the recent Demon Slayer. Ohara, Art Palace. I'm sorry, honey, I won't do something like that again, trust me. Inside their matrimonial room, Rob was apologizing for the umpteenth time for the disturbing scene he drew in the previous arc that had put Robin's public picture in a quandary. He also did not want to draw such scene, but the moment he tried to pass the scene without drawing it, he felt a faint danger to his life, as if he was being threatened with the white weapon placed on his neck by some god. Rob was reminded of the conditions the Divine Network had set for him before he was sent to this world. He can make minor edits to the story, but he has no right to delete scenes from the story at all. That's why he's been being scolded by an angry Alvia for the past weeks. You won't do it again, that's a promise? Olivia asked while gently puffing her cheek. Of course, I promise. Then Kaya. Before she could finish speaking, Rob quickly hugged her and sealed her lips in a hot kiss after pushing her onto the bed. For a long week, she's been getting revenge on him for that scene in the manga, but he will restore all of what she did out of her now. He ruthlessly tore off her made uniform before the voices of harsh moans and the sounds of flesh clapping heard over and over again. Today Alvia must suffer a bit. Outside the art palace, Sora, Toki, Otoheim, Glora, and Bella, dressed in elegant maid outfits, hurried into the art store to do their routine work of looking after customers in the network of art stores spread throughout the world. The smile did not leave their faces when they saw the smiles of happiness and expectation on the faces of the civilians. All these are thanks to their husband who, even in war situations, he succeeded in providing a safe environment for millions of people across the world. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, giant screens appeared, their light reaching every spot on its islands, announcing the start of the new anime. Enthusiastic applause echoed before the crowd quieted down and focused on the art store screen as a quiet scene emerged of a horse-drawn carriage passing on a village road in a forest. What is this monster? It's huge. Suddenly, a dangerous monster appeared from under the ground, which frightened the people in the carriage and surprised the viewers in the pirate world. Earth Dragon. Is that a dragon? I knew about the celestial dragon only. There are such monsters in this world. It looks interesting. Oh. It's Tatsumi. So strong. He's definitely a first-class swordsman. Mihawk Aisho and the samurai of Wano are impressed with Tatsumi's sword style since seeing his first move with which he severed the Earth Dragon's hand. Good. Mihawk gave a nod of appreciation for Tatsumi's skill but was looking forward to seeing Akame. Her weird sword was still stuck in his memory. Anime events. After cutting the Danger Beast's hand with wonderful skill, Tatsumi announces the monster's name and its class, too. First Class Danger Beast, Earth Dragon. A worthy opponent. The monster's roar was frightening, but it didn't even make Tatsumi blink. You're angry, huh? It's over. After saying so, he slashed the Danger Beast with first-rate swordsmanship skill and the battle ended, which greatly stunned the two men who were watching the battle. That was amazing, young man. You actually took a Danger Beast down single-handedly. Apparently, Tatsumi was someone who took pleasure in compliments, so he replied with enthusiasm. Of course. For me, that was nothing. Defeating it was a piece of cake. By the way, I'm Tatsumi. A name that'll be famous throughout the imperial capital. You should remember it. After hearing the name of the imperial capital, the expressions of the two men were disturbed for some reason. You're saying you want to make it big in the imperial capital? Tatsumi, yeah. Win success and fame in the imperial capital. It's every country boy's dream. The two men looked at each other and then looked pitifully at the dreaming boy and wanted to wake him up from his delusions. The imperial capital isn't the place of hopes and dreams that you think. It's definitely lively, but there are monsters even worse than that earth dragon. Tatsumi, what? Do you mean there is danger beasts in the city, too? It's the people. Humans, but their hearts are those of monsters. The capital's full of people like that. At this moment, a weird song had begun to play, and because of it, the drowned crowd in the dialogue between Tatsumi and the two men wakes up to its tune. Tatsumi, I appreciate your advice, but I can't turn back now. After packing his things, he looked in the direction of the capital as he spoke. No, we're going to make it in the imperial capital and save our village. The OST, Fallen Heroes, began to shake the feelings of the viewers at this moment. It can be said that the inhabitants of the pirate world are used to hearing the wonderful OSTs in which AOT is the number one in this domain. But this particular OST left a deep impression on the viewers, and the reason is the words of the narrator. Just as humans eventually rot away, countries collapse as well. Even the imperial capital, which has prospered for 1,000 years, is now a living hell of corruption. Evil spirits take human form and run amok, claiming everything is their own. Those evils which heaven cannot judge. They will be dealt with in the darkness. By us, the assassins. As the first episode continues in the show, the inhabitants of the pirate world soon learn about the evil spirits in human form that the narrator spoke of. The first of them was the daughter of the noble family Arya and her gruesome habit of torturing the poor to death. She tortured Tatsumi's comrades Seo and Ayasu to death. It's terrible. But it's not a big deal. The pirates in our world do worse. Pirates. They are so cute compared to celestial dragons. Shoo, let's keep watching. Ha! The night raid has arrived. She died so easily. No, that's Arya's mom. What the heck? Did she cut her in half with this huge scissor? She apologized after cutting her in half. This girl with purple hair is so scary. What the hell? That's why this show has a +15 warning. It's really violent and cruel. Chapter 379, The Raid on the Pirate Island. Sai Laboon, you knew about that. Rob-san told you something, right? Boo! Laboon's huge eyes were fixed on the afro-haired skeleton standing on a high ground overlooking the sea. Every time it sees its friend Brook, Laboon gets very happy. But today it seems as if its friend is suffering from frustration somewhat. After hearing Brook's question, the whale Laboon recalls that day 3 years ago when Rob showed it the tragedy of the Rumbar pirates. That day it cried a lot and it will never forget. At this moment, Brook saw that Laboon's eyes started to get wet with tears. His question brought back some kind of painful memory. I knew it. So you know about that too. Brook bowed his head sadly. He wasn't ready for that yet. It seems that the One Piece manga was on its way to entering a new saga. Brook knew this all too well. Since he saw Laboon's story in the manga, it's clear that the Rumbar pirates' past will come up too. This is because the Straw Hat Pirates were on their way to the area where the Rumbar pirates' journey ended. The day he saw himself in the poster, he knew it. His wounds will be reopened in the next One Piece volume. At least the world will know why we can't come back for you. Isn't that good news? Yah-ho-ho-ho. Brook patted Laboon with his bony hand in order to calm its turbulent emotions. Boo! New World, Hakinosu Island. On this island known as Pirates Island, pirates can be seen everywhere in this place. This island was considered sacred land for all pirates during the era of the Rocks Pirates, but even after the fall of the Rocks Pirates, this island still retains some reputation from its former prosperity. Of course, because the current ruler of the island is still a famous former member of the Rocks Pirates. It's Achiku or Wangji. A very strong and violent pirate. Of course, this was before the advent of the Hunters era. Because after they appeared and took control of half of the sea's world, he completely lowered his presence and never dared to leave his safe island ever since. However, since he was among the most dangerous living people in the current world, he had never escaped the notice of the world government nor the Hunters Guild. That is why Pirates Island is currently surrounded by hunters, and the goal is to exterminate the Achaku and take control of Pirates Island. There are 5,670 pirates on this island. 5,000 of them are beginner pirates with less than 50 million berries on their heads. 600 pirates with less than 100 million berries, 60 pirates with less than 500 million berries, 10 pirates with less than 700 million on their heads, 5 pirates with less than 900 million, 2 pirates with over a billion berries, including Wang Ji. Go! Go! We have the power to completely bring them down. We have 3 legendary hunters on our side. Inside the Hunters Guild's main ship. Looks like Achaku had noticed up. Well, what could he do even if he did? Shaki looked at the man next to her with a smile on her face. I won't let you fight this battle, that's why I asked Rob to let me fight this battle with you. I'm sorry dear, but Achaku was a dangerous guy. Don't you trust the strength of the Hunters Guild? Shaki asked strangely. Not so. But I'm afraid of sudden danger for you. Really, Rayleigh. Still as affectionate as the old days. I don't understand why you joined the Hunters Guild. Have you not completely resigned from the sea? Why did you accept such a dangerous task? It doesn't really matter. On the side, both Patrick Redfield and Douglas Bullitt stood up silently. After Rayleigh finished talking to his girlfriend, he finally turned around to stare at the duo weirdly. Bullitt, exactly you. I never expected to see you as a part of Rob's organization. What happened? Bullitt felt a little embarrassed but eventually gave up. I challenged him to a battle and I was defeated. Oh, I see, that's to be expected. And you, Patrick Redfield? Weird. It is none of your business, Dark King. Before the end of the day, the Pirates' Island had fallen into utter chaos due to the sudden invasion of the Hunters Guild that had entered it with massive force. It's said that the Dark King Rayleigh had to appear to bring down Wang Ji, who the legendary hunters couldn't easily bring down. After that, the Pirates' Island became a part of the past and the pirate symbol that even the world government could not easily deal with was crushed. The pirates were dealt another heavy blow by the hunters, who were continuing to subdue the pirates even amid their battle with the world government. The ruler of the Pirates' Island has fallen to the hunters. Ex-Roger Pirates member Douglas Bullitt has joined the Hunters Guild. Incredible! Red Count has joined the Hunters Guild. The Dark King has been seen with the Hunters' forces on Hunters Island. What is the reason? Why did Sky Sword decide to target Wang Ji? These were the headlines of the World Economy newspaper, which spread around the world. It's time to go to that weird place. At this moment, Rob was flying over the sea of the New World towards a moving island. Rob had a certain life card in his hand, the only way to go to that island. The target, in order to create a new art store. Chapter 380, Thriller Bark Saga, Thriller Bark Arc, Part 1. A gigantic elephant appeared before Rob, because for the first time he saw this giant creature directly in front of his eyes. It was a completely different experience compared to seeing it in the manga or anime. Zunesha. Joy Boy's friend who lived 1,000 years ago. Fantastic. Lightning scattered and Rob appeared on the highest wall surrounding Zo. Makomo Dukedom. The island seemed full of a pure and wonderful natural atmosphere, green trees, light clouds, and unparalleled splendor. Even Rob felt refreshed after he breathed in the sea-scented air mixed with a whiff of nature's air. This was Zo, the homeland of the Mink tribe. Rob looked at the life card in his hand curiously. It was still pointing forward. This life card belonged to Nikomamuchi. Odin gave it to him when he needed it. Don't be so vigilant, guys. I'm not here with malicious intent. I have this. Given to me by Odin, the heir of Wano. Rob noticed the Mink tribesman had already arrived, so he showed the life card in his hand and explained where he got it. When they heard this, a man resembling a sheep came out from among the trees in front while others followed behind. Did you say, Odin? If so, you are welcome to our humble dukedom. Rob jumped over the wall and appeared before King Hitsujisuken with lightning speed. The king and the guards behind him were startled, and consciously assumed a fighting position. Hitsujisuken motioned to his subordinates to calm down before looking at Rob, who was approaching them with a kind smile on his face. You're the famous Sky Sword, Hunters Guild's master. Welcome to our Makomo dukedom. Thank you for your kindness, King. Can you tell me the reason for your visit? Sure. I came here to trade. If you've ever heard about the art store, you'll know what I mean. The moment they heard about the art store, the Mink tribesmen almost cheered excitedly. They had heard so many amazing stories about the art store from Inuarashi, Nekamamushi, and even tribe members who leave the duchy from time to time. The art store was popular enough to reach the ears of the most primitive communities in the pirates' world. We've heard of the legendary art store for sure. We also know that you're the owner of that magic store. It's an honor to work with you, Rob-san. Please follow us. Since you're a guest of our humble dukedom, it's not appropriate to talk about business here. Rob nodded with a smile before following behind the excited Mink tribesman. After a few weeks, life in the pirates' world has been the same since the advent of the art store that conquered the world. Reading manga, watching anime episodes, then chatting and igniting wars of words between Poles in the global forum, trading, and exchanging important information in regional and local forums, too. There is no doubt that life in the pirates' world has changed a lot for the better, but this does not mean that it has changed completely. The darkness of the world still exists as long as the world government, mafias, and pirates exist. It would have been worse if the great era of pirates had begun. But instead of the great era of pirates, an even stranger era has begun. Flying Island, Merville. The great era of manga. We have to break it and restore the pirates' prestige. Oh. And how do you intend to do that, old Shiki? I definitely have a plan. But it will take 20 years to complete. Will you help me, Kaido? I mean, you know very well that all plans don't work when faced with overwhelming strength, right? How do you intend to counter Rob's overwhelming strength? Who said we're going to fight him? All we have to do is destroy the ordinary people who buy his manga. Jahahaha. Kaido drank a mouthful of the delicious beer the art store sells before sarcastically staring at Shiki. You're really still too crazy. But I like it. I'll let Queen help you shorten the 20 years project. He's a genius in that domain you want to use. As soon as Kaido finished, an emerald green light enveloped the skies of the floating islands. It's a new volume. A new volume has appeared. Shiki stood up and ran towards the art store, the same for Kaido and everyone on the Shiki Islands. Everyone wanted to get their volume as fast as possible. This was the One Piece manga we were talking about. Lots of fun and interesting events are coming up. Everyone in the world wants to know what Blackbeard did to Ace after he defeated him. Did he kill him or hand him over to the Marines instead of Luffy? Either way, it would be very bad for Ace and the Whitebeard pirates. Shiki and Kaido entered the art store before anyone else and bought their volumes. 500,000 berry? What the hell? Why is it so expensive? Kaido asked in awe. From what he knows, a manga volume is only 1,000 berry from the art store. Now, do you know why I wanted to crush the manga era even though I loved it? This bastard Rob has been taking advantage of me for 3 years. Calm Belt, Amazon Lily. Inside the art store. Aren't you going to go back to your crew, dear? A smile appeared on Rayleigh's face after hearing Shaki's soft tone. I'll apologize to Captain Roger later, he'll understand because he also suffered what I'm going through at this moment. And what are you suffering from, my dear? Dressed in a sexy maid outfit, Shaki hugged Rayleigh while squeezing her breasts on his back. I can't get enough of seeing you in that beautiful outfit and drinking your wine. I feel like I'm in heaven. I feel like I want to stop being a pirate and live here with you. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. They both laughed after that. Well, let's see what surprises this new volume has in store. Rayleigh looked at the cover of the new volume with scrutiny. On the cover is a dark sea shrouded in mist, on the front is a skeleton with afro hair, and on the bottom are the Straw Hat Pirates facing off against zombies and a fat, pale-skinned person with a sickening smile. The most striking person on the cover is the colossal horn giant and... Let's begin. Shaki sat on his lap and opened the first page of the volume. New Saga, Thriller Bark Saga. That wraps up this part of What If Becoming a Mangaka in One Piece World. Thanks so much for listening. As always, new parts drop every 4 days, so be sure to stay tuned. Also check out my Patreon channel for early releases of all the series, where you can find all the series released one day ahead of YouTube. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and please consider supporting the original author as well. See you in the next one.